ZBCN is about to pump in October, and I'm going to show you why. Let's get into it. For those of you that don't know what Elliot Wave theory is, it's basically there's like a 5-motive wave. That's what it's called. A motive wave, and then it comes with an ABC correction, which is a corrective wave. But usually it's around 5 waves, and this screenshot right here, when it's going up, it's an impulse wave, and then when it's going down, it's a corrective wave. Let me show you how it relates to zebec. And a lot of the traders do go off this theory right here. Take a look at this. ZBCN came out in 2021, so it's not a new coin, but it got rebranded in 2024. So this chart shows when it got rebranded in 2024. Usually, the longer the consolidation, the harder the pump, okay? So this accumulated for over a year, and it had like kind of like the same up and down volume, very low volume, like 10 to 20 million. Then all of a sudden, you know, this consolidation for over a year, we had this one big impulse wave, okay, this massive leg up out of nowhere, just 10x. Well, not out of nowhere. I think on May they were part of the Circle Alliance program, and then they had huge hype about Ripple and XRP, and that pumped to that did a 10x. That did 1,000%. Okay, a lot of people in my comments say like, oh yeah, I got in at 0.007, and basically they did a 10x. And obviously, you know, the longer the consolidation, the harder the pump. And these guys right here, that was buying up for a year, they're going to take some profits, guys. They've been waiting for a year. So in the Elliot wave, there's 5 impulse waves. So the first impulse wave, and then I came in around here. So it looks something like this, okay? So in theory, so this one was the first impulse wave. That's the one leg, and then it has a corrective phase, and then it gears up for the second one. That's this one right here, and then there's another corrective phase. And then, you know, if we're going by Elliot Wave theory, well, technically we haven't gone through the third leg. The third leg is technically the biggest wave. From here did a 10x. Okay, that was the first one. What do you think this one's going to do if technically the third wave's the biggest one? This could send us over a penny, you know, 2 cents, 3 cents, whatever. And then we've still got, you know, 2 more waves. You know, we've got 4 and 5. Sometimes there can be 7, and then it will do an ABC correction. If anyone in the comments wants to add more to it, go ahead, please. I've said in my previous videos that, you know, September is a bearish month historically. This screenshot right here, usually September is a bearish month, but October usually flips bullish. And at the moment, Bitcoin and Ethereum has shown bullish signs. You know, Bitcoin's at 120k. The market is looking good. You know, stocks are at an all-time high. Gold's at an all-time high. It's more likely the Fed is going to announce some rate cuts. You know, we could get 2 more this year. And we're on the final phase of the bull run, guys. We're not in the frigging bearing phase and the consolidation phase. This is where people get the stories of altcoin season, and this is where people praise about it. These last few months, and usually most of the gains are made in the last 3 months of the bull run. People don't know that. That's where most of the parabolic gains come in, and it's face melting. It's absolutely face melting. This is where people talk about stories about altcoin season and all that. Okay, you will not know until you've seen it yourself. We are getting to that last parabolic banana zone phase, and the signs are looking good. The signs are looking good. Well done to zebec holders, especially you guys getting in, you know, a year ago. Unfortunately, I did not know much about zebec at the time. I was in other coins. I got this stupid comment. I don't get haters in my channel. I had this guy yesterday just come in and call zebec, say it's crap, and it makes no sense, you know? If you hate zebec, well, why are you searching up YouTube videos? That tells me 2 things, you know, either you're stupid, or second, you bought at the all-time high and you panic sold, and now you just want to just get something out of this coin because it made you feel bad. Okay, but if you look at the fundamentals and the research, you know, this is far from dead. We're at 84,000 holders. It keeps growing organically. I had another question as well. I think this person called Too Goosey asked, I hope they get MiCA compliant. Well, to answer your question, I think they are MiCA compliant. I think they're just delaying the outcome. I think they're just finishing sibos, because when they got SOC 2, they got audited in and passed in like 26, 27. Then they announced it on September 1st. So I do think MiCA's already done. Okay, they will announce it after sibos. That's my theory anyway, because they have announced that they will be getting more partnerships after the sibos event.
Our team is going to Frankfurt next week, and we'll be attending the Sibos conference, which is the SWIFT annual conference. There are many leading institutions out there, banks and payments companies, which we are already in talks with. So we're expecting to see more announcements like this coming very soon.
So this is the SWIFT conference with all the big banks and institutions. Big names coming. I'll just put a quick list of service. If I miss one out, guys, just name it in the comments. Barclays Bank, BIS, Chainlink, ISO 222, Chips, cross-border interbank payment system. I've heard them there. They're part of the ISO 222. Deutsche Bank. What else? European Central Bank. You got FinTech. What else? We got HBAR, ISO 222 compliant. HSBC, one of the biggest banks in Europe. I think in the UK they're the biggest. Fact check me in the comments if not. JP Morgan, Lloyd's, another bank, MasterCard. What else? NASDAQ. See, guys, loads of names going. OKX, another bank, Anchor Bank. Like, there's loads. Quant Network, ISO 222, R3, ISO 222. More banks, more institutions right here. State Bank of Vietnam, Turkey Bank, Visa. What else? XDC, ISO 222, and then the last and final one, ZBCN network. Okay, so look at all the exhibitors, guys. I just mentioned some big names there. I'm going to put this in the description and so you can check it out yourself. But ZBCN and all these firms and institutions are all going to the same event, and it's on their website. You know, those are for the people that are screaming scam. Well, why the hell are they going to a Swift conference that's run by Swift, which runs our global messaging standard system? They pretty much help us send money across the world, and it's crap. I'm going to go back to the other video. Remember, they got their compliance firm Gateknox. They bought a compliance firm that helps them with their mica white paper. They've already written it, and it just needs to get past the audit phase. And I'm pretty sure it's already done. Okay, that'll be a bullish sign. It will get them close to the ISO 222. Question about the Sibos event is that you've already got crypto firms like Chainlink, HBAR, XDC, Quant Network. They're all ISO 222 compliant crypto firms. So ZBCN is already in the room with them. So, you know, maybe they're ISO compliant. I know they said they're aiming it for end of the year. At Sibos, you get invited. You don't pay to go. You get invited. Swift invites you to be a part of the conference. Okay, maybe Swift sees something that they bring to the real world, because ZBCN Network focuses on stablecoin payroll. They're changing the way money moves, paying workers in stablecoins. They're multi-chain. They can integrate multiple tokens into the card suite, that you can actually use tokens on other chains and spend them, or you can receive stablecoin payments with their payroll services. So they have a real use case, and stablecoin adoption is on the rise post Genius Act. Regulation was a great area when I was around 2017, 2020. I wasn't around in 2017, but 2020 it was a great area. Now we've got a pro crypto administration in the US, ZBCN, a US company. You know, when regulation steps in, the stablecoin narrative comes in, ZBCN's going to get huge partnerships, big financial institutions partnering with them. They can get way more stablecoins pegged from banks that issue their own and plug into their network, because they are an infrastructure layer and they don't need to change the current payroll system. The current payroll system will just plug in. It's just an upgrade. They're changing the way of payroll in stablecoins. It acts as digital money. There's lots and lots of transaction volume in stablecoins. So
last year, $2 trillion of payments were settled in stablecoins. So this is a tsunami that's going to affect every company in finance. And that's all made possible by blockchain technology. Blockchain is the future of finance.
Lots and lots of stablecoins can integrate with ZBCN very easily.
And at the end of the day, ZBCN is an infrastructure provider, right? So we provide the rails for these bank-backed stablecoins to be successful in their mission to move finance flows on chain. So AllUnity and Deutsche Bank is really just one of the first.
Listen, the ZBCN community is so bullish. Look, this is marketing right here. You know, I said this to a friend and I showed someone a picture of this guy, ZBCN man. Go follow him on X. He's a funny guy. He's a really great guy. But look at that, man. We have a friggin' mascot for ZBCN. What project has a friggin' mascot? The community is dedicated of ZBCN. You know, they're so dedicated. It reminds me of the XRP army, and a lot of XRP holders hold ZBCN as well. We have diamond hands. We have 6 billion tokens being staked. We've got the NBA NHL marketing campaign coming up this fall. Sibos is about to end. What is it now? The 2nd. Tomorrow's the 3rd. They're going to announce big partnerships after that. Hopefully market compliance at the cherry on top. Everything is looking good. Q4 is looking bullish, guys. And honestly, you know, if you're sideline and you hate ZBCN, well, guess what? You make a hate comment about me, and on this channel, I will make a YouTube video about you, and you will be the clown of YouTube. I will make you a meme on this channel. The people that disrespected ZBCN. You cannot disrespect the ZBCN army. But anyway, guys, I'm pretty sure ZBCN is going to announce something tomorrow because the Sibos event is now over. But I'll see you guys in the next one.